We're focusing on your wedges, and you've told us that your main issue is directional control. So you're hitting the ball both to the right and to the left of target inconsistently. The direction of our shots is mainly influenced by the alignment of the club face at impact. So this is clearly what we have to focus on in your golf swing. However, first we need to ascertain whether the club face alignment is an independent issue or whether it's being affected by another part of the golf swing. And that would be the swing path. So the swing path is the direction of the club head as it moves through impact. It can be neutral, meaning towards the target, or it can be from in to out, which is to the right of target, or from out to in, which is to the left of target. Now, if the swing path isn't neutral and it's moving in the wrong direction, we have an added difficulty, which is trying to orient the face in a way that will get the ball back towards the target. If we can get a more neutral path, we simply have to work on the premise that we need a square face. Now we have a very simple setup with two tees that can act as a test to see whether the swing path is neutral or not, and then act as a practice station to help us work on maintaining this neutral path. The setup would be you place one tee about a club head width behind the ball and a second tee about a club head width ahead of the ball. And you can also see from down the line here that both tees are set up just outside of our target line. This gives the club head enough room to miss both tees if it's moving on a neutral path. However, an out to in swing path would hit the first tee and an in to out swing path would hit the second tee. If you're hitting the first tee, you need to work on the feeling that your backswing and downswing stay to the inside of that tee. If you're hitting the second tee, you need to work on the feeling of the follow through moving back to the inside so it misses the tee. Once you've figured out the swing path and you can work on hitting shots without disturbing either of the tees, you may find that you're hitting the ball straight already and the solution has been found. However, if you're still hitting the ball to the right and to the left, we need to look at how we control our club face. So throughout the swing, we can have an action that has the face opening and closing excessively on the way back and then on the way through. Now when we do that, we have an element of timing, which means we have to hopefully square the face for impact, but if we don't succeed, the ball won't be hit straight. On the other hand, we can develop an action that keeps the face square to the path. And that means if the path is neutral, the face will be neutral too. If we take a reference point, which would be the right hand and how that's working throughout the swing, to open and close the face, you have to roll the hand to the right away from the target and then to the left towards the target. And it's this sort of action that means we have to rely on timing to square the face. On the other hand, if you used your right wrist in a way that it simply hinges straight back and straight forward, what you would notice is instead of having a lot of rotation of the club face, it's now staying square. And that means it's square to the swing path. So if you make this happen from setup with a golf ball, notice that there is still a little bit of opening and closing of the face as the club moves back and through, but this is because of the swing path. The club face, however, is staying square to that swing path, which means if we have control of our swing path, we have control of our club face, unlike when we have the action that rotates the club open and closed excessively. So taking the setup and using the swing length appropriate for the shot that we have, our two main things to focus on are firstly that we're able to hit the ball away without clipping either of the tees, but secondly, our main swing feeling is that the right hand is in control and it simply hinges straight back and straight forward as we swing the club back and through. If we can do this, we have a straight or neutral swing path and a square club face, which means we will have control of the direction of our shots.